let us first of all understand the procedure regarding or the step regarding the proceedings of charge framing. The first step or the first procedure I had explained to you was arguments on charge, or which I told you to be hearing on charge. That basically, first of all, whatever charges are mentioned in the charge sheet, the both parties, they conduct an argument, or the both parties basically argue against each other. Of course, saying what? The prosecution saying that these are precisely the charges that should be framed against this particular accused, and the defense says that no, these charges hold no truth as regards this particular accused and they should be dismissed. So what we are trying to do here is we are conducting arguments on the charge which have been given in the charge sheet. The second step in the proceedings of charges, after the arguments are done, the court comes to a conclusion that what exactly is the charge which has to be framed. Both parties gave their little bit of arguments also. They tried to tell the court that see, charge sheet does not have any sufficient material. The charges which have been suggested by the police officer, they are not backed by evidence, but they focus only on the charge sheet. Because see, understand, trial has not started yet when you are conducting arguments on charge. When arguments on charge are being conducted, the trial has not been started. So what has basically happened is, basically the both parties, they are focusing themselves on the material which has been collected by the police in the charge sheet. So charge sheet containing whatever relevant material about the charges. For example, let us say there is a relevant material regarding the murder charge, which is, let's say, the CCTV footage. But the CCTV footage is not time stamped or the CCTV footage is not clear. Let us say there is a letter, but the handwriting in the letter does not match with the handwriting of the accused. So, etc., etc. There can be numerous examples basically stating that whatever material is present in the charge sheet, that means whatever evidences the police have collected to support the charges that they have suggested, because ultimately the opinion of the police officer is not binding upon the magistrate. So whatever charges they have suggested, whatever material they have used to support that suggestion, that material will be the basis of the arguments on charge. Basically, the prosecution will say that this material is absolutely sufficient and therefore these are the charges that need to be framed. And on the other hand, the defense will state that this is not at all sufficient to prove the charge. Basically saying that these evidences which have been collected by the police officer, they are not at all relevant or sufficient to make up the ingredients of the offense. Probably this is not murder, this is culpable homicide not amounting to murder. Probably this is not culpable homicide not amounting to murder, this is rash and negligent act causing death. This is not even rash and negligent act causing death, it is accident. So what I am trying to say, the defense is trying to reduce the charge which has been suggested by the police officer. That is the hearing on the arguments of charge. And once the hearing is completed, of which the scope is primarily what? The charge sheet which has been presented by the police officer. The second step for the court is, after hearing all arguments, after going through the charge sheet, the court will frame the charge. So the charge is framed, that is the second step. The second step is that the charge is framed. Once the charge is framed, that means as per schedule 2 form number 33 of BNSS, the charge is framed. That means the court decides, okay, Mr. Accused, this is the offense for which your trial is going to be conducted. Once that charge is framed, the next step in the proceedings of charge, it is very crucial, and it is plea of guilt. Reading over and explaining. Reading over and explaining. Reading over and explaining. Now, it is necessary, we'll do it in the chapter as well, it is necessary that the accused understands as to what is the charge that has been exactly framed against him. What is that charge that has been framed against him? Why should you know the charge exactly that has been framed against him? Because everybody does not understand technical language. Probably the person does not understand English and the language of the court is English. So reading over and explaining the charge to the accused is relevant because the accused has to prepare a defense. And till the time he does not know what he is being charged for, how will he create a defense? How will he take a defense against that particular charge? Whenever a question is asked by the court, whenever a question is asked by the opposite party, he will be absolutely blind because he does not know that what is the accusation against him. So he does not even know what he is answering. He does not even know what he is answering. So he should know what is the accusation against him. He should know that exactly what charge is being framed so that he can take a proper defense. Are you able to understand this? Yes or no? Sure. So the third step is reading over and explaining. And then the next step is plea of guilt. The next step is taking the plea of guilt. As I had told you in the last class also, plea of guilt basically means that the court asks that, sir, are you wanting to take a guilty plea? That means you want to plead guilty of the offense that has been alleged to have been committed by you. So for the accusation against you, are you saying that you are guilty? If the person says yes, इसको ट्रायल में और डिटेल में भी करेंगे. If the person says yes, it is but obvious that you are not supposed to mandatorily convict him, because वो कह रहा है मैं guilty हूं, पर फिर भी आप mandatorily convict नहीं करोगे. आप देखोगे shall record the plea and may convict him thereon लिखा है हर जगह. Shall record the plea and may convict him thereon. Why? You record that he has pled guilty, but it is your discretion to convict him. You look at the material which is there in front of you. Is it sufficient to warrant a conviction? Why? Because this person, a father might be trying to save his son, son might be trying to save his brother, the junior might be trying to save his senior gunda. So what we are trying to do here is we are trying to be very cautious and we are not wanting to convict an innocent person. So you be very, very cautious about this person's plea of guilt. And in your discretion you have to convict him. ऐसा नहीं है उन्होंने बोल दिया आप मैं गिल्टी हूं तो आप उनको सीधा सीधा कन्विक्ट कर दोगे, आपका काम खत्म हो गया. You exercise your judicial discretion by perusing whatever material has been presented to you. Why? Because whenever the case starts, the public prosecutor or the assistant public prosecutor, they present a case. They lead the first arguments, that is called the opening arguments, and they talk to the court about what they want to do in this particular trial. The public prosecutor will say that I have such and such huge pile of evidences and I want this person to be convicted because I have sure shot evidences against him and he has definitely committed this offense. He had motive, he had intention, he had opportunity, etc., etc. And the defense is going to completely oppose it, that there is nothing that my client has done. So you look at all the documents that have been submitted, you look at all the arguments that have been made, and then you convict the person. Don't just automatically convict the person because the person is saying, I am guilty. No. Doesn't make sense. So I hope you are clear about the 4 steps which are there in the charge proceeding. And remember, arguments on charge will always be limited to the charge sheet. And why I am saying charge sheet and not police report here? Because had it been a closure report, we would not have reached the step of charge proceedings. Closure report hota to sab ghar chale jate, so simple. Deficient evidence hoti. But I am again and again saying charge sheet and not police report. Why? Because it is in fact a charge sheet which has been filed. Are you clear? Are you clear with this? Yes or no? Sure? No confusions? No doubts? Great.